long before their legendary matchup in August of 2022, Kamaru Usman and Leon Edwards shared history. 6 years before they rematched, the then newly minted UFC fighters shared the cage. The bout showcased each other's strengths, like Edwards' precise kickboxing and Usman's collegiate wrestling background.
Usman again with the clinch. Let's see if he can get it. He gets it this time.
While the bout was contested on the feet, Usman's control time is what had the biggest impact on the fight. The Nightmare would win on the cards, however, their story was far from over. While their paths weren't different, both would obtain the same objective, though at vastly different times from one another. After their first fight with each other, neither man had tasted defeat. Edwards would put on a striking display night in and night out.
The team have already got a reaction out of him. Oh, beautifully underhone.
Edwards switching up his... But he's been doing a lot of work with velocity, building some...
And people noticed Edwards as a potential challenger for the welterweight strap. Edwards was building a resume of great fighters under his name, while at the same time improving his wrestling, something he didn't have when he first fought Usman.
That was a nice cheeky knee to the face there, and a good sprawl by Leon Edwards there. Turns the position on Luque.
A dominant win over the then number 4 ranked Dos Anjos would put Edwards in title talks. A young boy who once had a troubled childhood was quickly climbing the ranks of welterweight royalty. On the other hand, Usman was already at the top of the food chain as he dismantled Tyron Woodley.
High on the numbers, staying high on the offense.
He hit Tyron with a...
Reach, then he thought about a takedown, nothing doing.
He wouldn't put on the most exciting of performances, though he'd show why he was the best. Usman was determined to win the belt and didn't care about theatrics.
There it is. He's shifting to the weak side. He walked away.
Big uppercut.
That guy was he's hurt. 2 more. He's hurt. Woodley's hurt, guys. Woodley's in trouble here. Big uppercuts. The angle. Big He's looking to finish it here. Woodley's trying to get his respect back, but he can't. Oh!
Visibly emotional, he had reached the top. Fierce rival and interim champ Colby Covington would be the first defense for Usman.
Marty Fake Newsman, the end of your time is over now, buddy. And since I'm the king of spoilers, this is what's gonna happen tomorrow night. See Marty Fake Newsman's ugly smug? I'm gonna bounce it off the canvas and I'm gonna kick it into the third wall. And maybe one of you lucky virgins will be able to catch it and take it home with you. Tune in tomorrow night, hold it up, pay-per-view!
The fight would go down as one of the greatest welterweight bouts of all time. For two wrestlers, you wouldn't expect a stand-up war like this. The two welterweights were throwing leather at each other. Usman even broke Colby's jaw. Colby persisted and even posed some danger. However, the compiled damage of Usman was what got him the finish.
Him pressing, him landing, him trying to put
This fight was one that propelled Usman in the pound-for-pound rankings. His second defense against a last-minute replacement in Jorge Masvidal was indeed underwhelming. Usman would later grant a rematch to Jorge, this time on a full camp. Usman would team up with legendary coach Trevor Whitman.
Just want the best. Like that's as a coach, we want the best challenges. We want to go out there and make sure that we're not hesitating and making different decisions, and then seeing if we can change game plans up in fights.
Former teammates would have to go head-to-head. Dorino started off with a power shot.
I just think he's faster. I think he might be faster than Usman, but I think technically...
Early land for Dorino with the right hand!
However, Usman's newly found boxing skills would propel him to victory.
Landed more than Woodley. Trying to throw those big overhands and not allowing Usman to get you.
Huge right from Usman. This could be the beginning.
Usman switched southpaw.
And that will do it.
Usman was quickly making people understand that he could in fact strike. After massive complaints of a stagnant first bout between both men, Usman now had a point to prove. In the first round, Usman stuck to his bread and butter. However, in the second round, people now understood that Usman had power. While Usman carried on with his reign, Edwards dealt with some problems. Edwards struggled to have a fight lined up. A bout with Tyron Woodley was then cancelled. Another one with rising contender Chimaev also cancelled. And even with Jorge Masvidal, also cancelled. A fight that made sense because of their shared history outside the cage. After not fighting in 2020, he'd take on Belal Muhammad in March of 2021, in a fight where he was clearly on top and winning. A costly eye poke by Edwards would end the fight prematurely. Visibly hurt, Muhammad was unable to continue. Unfortunately, it was declared a no contest. Edwards knew, however, he was still close to a title shot.
I feel I deserve a title shot. That's 9 fights in a row. I fought everyone that gave me. I've stepped up to offer to fight. All the top guys all turned me down. So,
perennial superstar Nathan Diaz would be the last fight for Leon before the belt. Edwards dominated the first 4 rounds, landing damaging shots on Diaz. By the end of round 3, Nate had taken a lot of damage. It was evident that Edwards was dominating.
He's going to come out, his corner warned him, and now he's going to let him know right away, hey.
Other than this infamous scare, Leon was in the clear.
I mean, that's what they do for fun. So when you do that for fun as well as jiu-jitsu.
Leon had consolidated himself for a title shot. While Edwards booked his ticket, Usman was dealing with his last title defense, a rematch against Covington. Yet another very close fight for Usman. He got to display his newfound striking acumen.
For you to change levels on.
Though Usman did go through some adversity.
He did at the end of that round, which led to a takedown and...
Big shot by Colby.
He was able to get his hand raised despite it all. Both men walked in with a lighthearted nature. He showcased improvements on the grappling department.
Did a good job. Oh, look at this. In the full mount. And Usman must turn his left hip towards the mat to alleviate some of the pressure.
Yeah, Joe, he's got to move it to the opposite side.
The next few rounds would show Usman as a tick above.
Dominant round for the champion.
Yeah, it's a big round for Kamaru.
The wrestling basics were securing him rounds.
4, mixes in a few strikes, changes levels, dumps him down.
Listen, stop feeling sorry for your fucking self. Well, come on then. What's wrong with you? You're too fucking down. You gotta pull the shit out of the fire.
Leon knew he needed a finish. And right when no one believed in him, Leon would shock the millions of fans watching around the world.
A moral victory for Leon Edwards.
But that is not the cloth from which he is cut.
No.